Hello, friends. Welcome back again on the I Have a Vision Academy YouTube channel. In short, I Have Academy. So let's jump straight to our today's topic. In the previous course, not course but lecture, I have told you about the economic development in the British India. लास्ट में हम इस वाली वीडियो के रिवाइज करेंगे बिकॉज इन द नेक्स्ट क्लास आई विल बी टेलिंग यू द LPG रिफॉर्म्स, द लिबरलाइजेशन, privatization and globalization of 1991. So in this class we will study the economic development of India after the death of Nehru till 1991. So basically we are studying the time period between in the previous class we have studied the time period after 1600 till the independence of India. सो ये क्लास थोड़ी छोटी रखते हैं बिकॉज आई हैव नंबर ऑफ थिंग्स और टास्क टू बी डन. सो थोड़ी सी छोटी क्लास रखेंगे. सो फोकस ऑन द बोर्ड नाउ. सो आफ्टर द डेथ ऑफ नेहरू इन द प्रीवियस क्लास आई हैव टोल्ड यू दैट द महलनोबिस प्लान वाज अ फेलियर. इन्फ्लेशन हाई हो गया एंड नंबर ऑफ मोर थिंग्स हैव बीन डन इन द महलनोबिस प्लान. Now in 1965 and 1991, so between these period, first of all the two wars 1962 and 1965 किस किस के साथ, the 62 Sino-Indian War as well as 65 Indo-Pakistan War. So we have encountered with two wars. Moreover, in 1965 and 66 it is a period of famine. अकाल पड़ गया था. So you know the result of these two phenomena were inflation up to 12%, and that too in food. The food inflation was up to 20%. The fiscal deficit of Indian government is approximately 8%, and the foreign reserves we have only the foreign reserves which can get us import of merely 2 months. So this was the status of Indian economy in the year 65 and 66. So after the independence our growth rate was increasing, but it was not increasing beyond 3.5%, and this is called Hindu growth rate. But in the 1980s, some of the reforms done by the Rajiv Gandhi then government, our growth rate jumped to 5.3%. So from the Hindu growth rate, after some of the modifications in Rajiv Gandhi government, we have achieved the 5.3% mark. अभी आएंगे उस पे. So when the India was experiencing these kind of problems, moreover on this USA suspended the public law 480 program, which is generally the food aiding program of USA. जो भी जिस कंट्रीज को भी नीड होती थी of the food, so under the public law 480 program of USA is open to giving help to such countries. To every country? No. Taking into consideration the economic and political interests of USA used to give this food subsidy or the actual food distribution under the PL 480 program to the developing nations. So USA has suspended this PL 480 program of India, and USA and other financial institutions like IMF and World Bank demanded some economic reforms to be taken place in Indian economy. What are these? The first thing is, please devalue your currency. At that period of time, we are opting for the fixed regime, fixed currency convertibility. It means the RBI or the government of India of that day used to declare a fixed amount of रुपी. जो कन्वर्टेबिलिटी ऑफ रुपी हमने पढ़ा था वही चीज़ कि भाई $1 के इक्वल टू हो जाएगा 30 रुपीज़ एंड दिस विल बी फिक्स्ड. So we are following the fixed rate. So first of all, after experiencing all these bottlenecks, India is still using the fixed convertibility formula. So now these financial institutions plus the USA demanded India that please first devalue your currency. The second is, please employ the new agricultural policy. So the second thing demanded that most of the Indian economy was dependent on agriculture, and our agriculture was more of a subsistence farming and not that of a commercial farming, and there are a lot of restrictions in this agriculture field also. So these financial institutions demanded, please adopt a new agriculture policy, please develop your agriculture sector. And the third thing demanded was, please open your economy so that other countries, most probably USA capitalist and industrialist, can flood their products in Indian markets and gain lucrative profits from here. So these three things were demanded at that period of time from India, and the then Indira Gandhi government obliged to these demands and started some of the changes, like there will be less restrictions in the foreign trade. Then there is the devaluation of currency happened at that period of time. So basically the political parties in India is not against this demand because they know this has to be modernized, but they are quite skeptical about these two demands, and the opposition party opposes these changes that has been done by Indira Gandhi government. What are these changes? Some of the restrictions were lifted from the foreign trade. Then the value, the Indian currency has been devalued. But these changes were clubbed together in period of recession. It means there is negligible effect of these forward-looking changes at that period of time, and these political parties, the opposition political parties, bashed the then ruling government. So then the Indira Gandhi government reversed its original stance, and a number of restrictive policies have been initiated at that period of time. What were these policies? So first is, we all know, the bank nationalization. In 1969 and afterwards in 81. Then secondly, Monopolistic and Restrictive Trade Practices Act of 1969 has been passed. Then General Insurance nationalization in 1972. Coal nationalization in 1973. So number of these things were passed so as to reverse the changes that is happening in India during the time of recession, because the government as well as opposition party has experienced that these forward looking changes are not giving any effect on the current situation of the Indian economy. That is due to the recession part, but at that period of time we are not familiar with these kind of issues in depth, and moreover the public opinion is very important in democracy. अब public को तो इतना समझ में आता नहीं, they are not well educated at that period of time. So Indira Gandhi, the then government of Indira Gandhi, obliged to these opposition demands, and these certain restrictive policies has been produced on the Indian economy. Now I have told you that these MRTP Act, इसमें क्या था? Basically license राज. All the industries have been nationalized. Now there is a centralization of powers happening at that period of time during the Indira Gandhi government. But after the death of Indira Gandhi, or the assassination of Indira Gandhi, Rajiv Gandhi government came into power in 1980s, and it eased up some of the restrictiveness of these policies. So then from Hindu growth rate we jump to this 5.3% of growth rate. The Hindu growth rate, this numerical is lower than the average of the growth rate of the developing nations. Even the sub-Saharan African countries are having much higher growth rate of 4% than this Hindu growth rate. So this feat has been achieved by Rajiv Gandhi governments. Now we will discuss some of the bottlenecks in the period of 1950 or 51 till 1991. So ये हम थोड़े से प्रोविजंस देखेंगे कि क्या क्या थे, and in the next class we will do the LPG reforms of 1991. So absorb this. And these bottlenecks only will get changed in the LPG reforms. सारे तो यही नहीं होंगे, but majorly these are the changes in LPG reforms. The very first is license Raj. So the first one is license Raj. Actually, whatever policies will get implemented in India, the intention behind that policy will be very good, but the implementation part is the actual obstacle. So the good part about license Raj is bureaucrats and politicians thought that by introducing this license Raj, we will have a planned investment and growth of Indian economy. We will avoid concentration of wealth. So these were some of the ideas behind introducing the license Raj. But in the implementation part, it ruled out these positive effects and some of the negative elements entered our debate. What are these negative elements? First of all, we have seen the nexus between bureaucrats, politicians, and big businessmen. In the previous class only I have told you that license Raj is applicable on the basis of first come and first serve. So these big and major businessmen apply to this license, and by lobbying, as these big businessmen has a very powerful political clout, so these big businesses who are owned by the politicians themselves, they used to obtain this license. Moreover, in this license Raj, bureaucrats have the authority to decide the size, the location, the technology used in a particular industry. So you are giving the authority of controlling an industry to a newbie. Because bureaucrats are for administration. Bureaucrats doesn't serve any purpose in the industrial world. So huge inefficiencies crept in the industrial sector, and hence we have nixed or stopped the industrial revolution at that period of time in India. The next is reservation, and moreover in the license Raj, the competition has been killed. Although the license Raj has come to increase the competition, as these big industries have to apply for license for expanding their capacities, and government thought in their head that we will not grant license to these big industries, and it will provide a way to enter the entrepreneurs, the new entrepreneurs in the field. But as there is a nexus between bureaucrats, politicians, and businessmen, and most of the industrial sectors are owned by these politicians, so the competition has been killed, as all the licenses are given to these big industrial houses. So if we are killing the competition, so the firms, the industry has no motivation to do technological development. And with technological development, efficiencies of the industries increase, R&D will increased, and the competition in the market is increased, leading to the diversification of products. As the competition has been marred by these license Raj era, that's why these new entrepreneurs doesn't get any entrance in these big industrial space of India. That is something about license Raj. The next thing is reservation of small scale industries. So basically, in the Calcutta model, it has been opted that public sector will create the capital intensive industries, and private sector will complement these public sector. So from where did the production of consumer goods happen? From these small scale industries. So these small scale industries will produce the consumer goods. So this was all in the Calcutta plan. Now for this purpose, reservation of small scale industries have been done. A number of products are reserved for the production in these small scale industries. Now these small scale industries lacks two things. The first is the technology, and the second thing the infrastructure. So the cost of the production of these particles by small scale industries, they are not getting decreased. Why? Because if you are competing at a international level, so these industries, big industries, will do R&D, will create efficiencies in their administration, so that the end product, जो उसके एंड प्रोडक्ट के प्राइस होंगे, द प्राइस विल बी लेसन एंड इट विल क्रिएट कॉम्पिटिटिवनेस ऑफ दिस प्रोडक्ट. But as these small scale industries are lacking in technological development, their prices remain constant. Hence, वापस competitiveness down आ गई. And the second thing is, these are small scale, so they doesn't acquire the advantage of this principle of economies of scale. It means if we have a capacity, this is a machine that has been installed to manufacture burgers of 100 burgers a day. बट हमारे पास इतनी ही इंफ्रास्ट्रक्चर है कि ये 50 ही बना पा रही है. सो द कॉस्ट ऑफ द एंड प्रोडक्ट विल बी इंक्रीज्ड इफ इट इज़ नॉट यूटिलाइजिंग इट्स फुल कैपेसिटी. सो डैट इज़ नथिंग कॉल्ड बट इकोनॉमीज ऑफ स्केल. जितनी बड़ी इंडस्ट्री होगी उतना कम उसका प्रोडक्ट का प्राइस हो जाएगा. अंडरस्टूड? The next is MRTP Act, Monopolistic and Restrictive Trade Practices 1969. In this, the industries whose assets are more than 20 crore at that period of time, they will not be allowed to expand their businesses further. So these big industries also, they doesn't apply these economies of scale, and hence once again the competition has been marred. So all these policies, एक मिनट, so all these policies hindered the industrial revolution in India. One last point is here. The import substitution versus the export promotion. We are so much obsessed with the not depending on these foreign countries after the suspension of PL 480 law. We have decided that we'll be self-dependent. So we created capital intensive industries, and given the ideals of production of consumption based products to these small scale industries. So now this also has marred the competition in India. वही जो पहले के पॉइंट्स थे वही इसमें रिपीट होंगे. इंपोर्ट सब्सटीट्यूट करना है हमें. इट मीन्स हमारे प्रोडक्ट ज़्यादा डाइवर्सिफाई नहीं होंगे. वी आर नॉट मेकिंग आवर डोमेस्टिक प्रोडक्ट्स कॉम्पिटिटिव इन द इंटरनेशनल मार्केट. एंड आफ्टर द पोस्ट लिबरलाइजेशन ऑफ 1991 LPG रिफॉर्म्स, ड्यू टू सच पॉलिसीज, इंपोर्ट सब्सटीट्यूशन, MRTP, रिजर्वेशन ऑफ SSI, लाइसेंस राज, the fact that our markets are flooded with the foreign goods which are at very cheap rate after the liberalization of 1991. These are the main factors. So that's why in 1991, the LPG reforms of 1991, we tend to cater the needs of these bottlenecks. Understood? So ये था कहानी LPG reforms of 1991 की. And in the next class we will be able to complete all of this history of Indian economy. एक बार थोड़ा सा रिवाइज कर लेते जल्दी. रिवीजन में कल की और आज की क्लास थोड़ी सी रिवाइज कर लेते हैं जल्दी से ही। हमारी स्टोरी 1600 से स्टार्ट होती है। ब्रिटिश उस टाइम राज कर रहे थे। देयर वाज अ competition or antagonism between the EIC East India Company and the new emerging मैन्युफैक्चरिंग और इंडस्ट्रियल क्लास ऑफ ब्रिटेन। तो उससे क्या हुआ, 1813 में ब्रिटिशर्स ने मोनोपोली ख़त्म कर दी ईस्ट इंडिया कंपनी की। नाउ ऑल द ब्रिटिश कंपनीज स्टार्टिंग पोरिंग देयर प्रोडक्ट्स इन द इंडियन मार्केट। कैसे? बिकॉज वन साइडेड फ्री ट्रेड पॉलिसी आ गई। सो द ब्रिटिशर्स, द इंडस्ट्रियलिस्ट इन British Empire, they flooded their manufactured products in the Indian market at zero import or custom duty, and when the Indian products are going on the shores of the British Empire, a large import duty has been imposed. So पूरा एक्सपोर्ट जितना भी था इंडिया का, जो भी मैंने आपको बताया था 25% आई थिंक, सो डेट हैज़ बीन ब्रॉट डाउन टू 2%। तो ये सारी कहानी पहले हुई। फिर उसके बाद 1600, फिर यहाँ बीच में हम वो भी जोड़ देंगे, बैटल ऑफ प्लासी एंड बक्सर। देन 1813 आपको पता है मोनोपोली ख़त्म कर दी गई, वन साइडेड फ्री ट्रेड पॉलिसी अप्लाई करी गई। एंड एट द एंड ऑफ द डे जब हमारे पास 1947 हमने बताया था, द इंडिया विच हैव बीन लेफ्ट बिहाइंड बाय द ब्रिटिशर्स वाज poverty stricken. There is a stark social inequalities as well as economic inequalities. India is disease stricken. The savings rate was very low. The growth rate was very low. So at that period of time, we initiated some of the reforms and some of the focus area for the development of India of near future. तो हमने उसके बाद 5 ईयर प्लान्स वाले स्टार्ट किए। पहले से हमने सोच लिया था कि मिक्स्ड इकोनॉमी होगी हमारी। दोनों के पॉजिटिव्स लेगी, सोशलिज्म एज वेल एज कैपिटलिज्म के। देन हमारे पास फर्स्ट 5 ईयर प्लान आ गया, एग्रीकल्चर पे ज़्यादा फोकस किया। देन हमारे पास सेकेंड 5 ईयर प्लान आया। ये कैसा आया, इसकी बैक स्टोरी, द कैलकाटा वर्सेस द बॉम्बे स्कूल। ये थोड़ा रिवाइज करते रहिए, आप अपने ही मन में बोलिए आगे क्या होने वाला है। फिर कैलकाटा स्कूल कौन सा हमने अडॉप्ट किया, कैलकाटा स्कूल। तो इसके कौन थे, महलनोबिस थे, इसका ब्रह्मानंद था। बॉम्बे स्कूल में कौन थे, बेसिकली द बिजनेसमैन एंड द इंडस्ट्रियलिस्ट। कैलकाटा स्कूल में कौन था, बेसिकली द टेक्निकल और एकेडमिशियन पार्ट। सो कैलकाटा स्कूल ने बोला कैपिटल इंटेंसिव, दीज आर द कीवर्ड्स। इसने क्या बोला, लेबर इंटेंसिव। कैपिटल इंटेंसिव में क्या बोला कि गवर्नमेंट शुड इन्वॉल्व इन द प्रोसेस ऑफ इस्टेब्लिशिंग दिस बिग कैपिटल इंसेंटिव कंपनीज। इसमें लेबर की डिमांड कम होगी, टेक्निकल एक्सपर्टीज की डिमांड ज़्यादा होगी। दीज companies or industries will manufacture the other machineries, will in turn manufacture the required products. The consumer goods will be catered by small scale industries. So ये था पूरा कैलकाटा मॉडल का। बॉम्बे मॉडल ने क्या बोला, we have the cheap labor, so if we have cheap labor we should incentivize our labor industries. Understood? फिर उसने ये भी बोला था कि फिर इंपोर्ट, जो हमारे पास खास सिटी में प्रोडक्ट्स हैं वो हमें इंपोर्ट पे डिपेंड है 90%। तो वो कैसे लाएंगे, तो वो बोल रहे थे कि मेक योर प्रोडक्ट्स कॉम्पिटिटिव इन द इंटरनेशनल मार्केट, सो वी गेन फॉरेन करेंसी एंड बाय दिस फॉरेन करेंसी यू हैव टू इम्पोर्ट द सच रिक्वायर्ड नंबर ऑफ प्रोडक्ट्स। तो ये सब बोला बॉम्बे स्कूल ने। तो हमने कैलकाटा स्कूल को अडॉप्ट कर लिया है। उसके बाद हमने इंडस्ट्रियल पॉलिसी रिजोल्यूशन लाए, एक 1949 की भी हमने पढ़ी थी शायद से, फिर IPR 1956 भी पढ़ी थी। इसमें भी ABCD स्केड्यूल में डिवाइड थी इंडस्ट्रीज। स्केड्यूल में तो इसमें थी ना स्टेट ओन्ड, देन बेसिक, देन रेगुलेटेड एंड देन प्राइवेट। फिर इसमें हमने स्केड्यूल A, B, C पढ़ी। ऐसे रिवाइज करते रहिए। उसके बाद हमने महलनोबिस की शॉर्टफॉल्स पड़ी कि ज़्यादा इन्फ्लेशन हो गया है। उसके बाद हमारे पास ये जो जेस्टेशन पीरियड ज़्यादा था तो हमारा सेविंग्स रेट कम बचा। जितना भी हम लगा रहे थे इसमें फैक्ट्रीज बनाने में बड़ी बड़ी कैपिटल इंटेंसिव, तो हमको लग रहा था कि इससे क्या होगा, दिस विल इंक्रीज आवर रेवेन्यू, बट इंस्टेड these big capital intensive industries tend to eat our all the revenues। हमको लगा था कि पब्लिक जो हमें रेवेन्यू देगी उससे हम और रेवेन्यू जनरेट करेंगे by establishing these capital intensive industries, but there is a reversal of change in this process and these capital intensive industries started to eat away our public revenue। तो इससे फिस्कल डेफिसिट आ गया, हमारी पोजीशन और बेकार हो गई। सो 1965 में फिर हम आ जाते हैं। इसके बाद 1965 में हमने आज पढ़ा है कि हमारे पास दो तो वॉर थे, साइनो इंडियन वॉर एंड इंडो पाकिस्तान वॉर 1962-1965 में। मोर ओवर टू डैट इन 1966, 65 एंड 66 देयर वाज अ पीरियड ऑफ फेमाइन, सो इन्फ्लेशन रोज टू सच अ ह्यूज हाइट्स। ये सब पढ़ा हमने। देन हमारा फॉरेन करेंसी का कितना था वैल्यू, ओनली 2 months ऑफ इम्पोर्ट सब्सटीट्यूशन। एंड मोर ओवर टू दीज सफरिंग्स ऑफ इंडिया द यूएसए हैज सस्पेंडेड द पब्लिक लॉ 480 प्रोग्राम विच इज़ अ बेसिकली फूड डिस्ट्रीब्यूशन प्रोग्राम ऑफ यूएसए। एंड दीज फाइनेंशियल इंस्टीट्यूशन एज वेल एज यूएसए डिमांडेड फ्रॉम अस सम ऑफ द economic changes, basically the new agriculture policy, the easiness in the foreign trade and the devaluation of rupees. So Indira Gandhi government in 1970s applied some of these changes, but due to recession these changes can't make their effect on the Indian economy, and due to the pressure from opposition party there is a complete reversal of policies of Indira Gandhi, and hence there are several things. One of the things that I haven't told you is FERA in 1973 was also applied on the soils of India, Foreign Exchange and Regulation Act of 1973. Basically it is a draconian law which restricts the various number of provisions in the foreign trade. So later on in 1999 ये additional है, it was replaced by FEMA, Foreign Exchange and Management Act. Understood? So FERA has been initiated, then MRTP has been legislated in 1969, then bank nationalization, coal nationalization, insurance nationalization. So there is a centralization tendency of the central government at that period of time. So still there was a Hindu growth rate prevailing over that period of time. Then in 1980s the Rajiv Gandhi government, after the assassination of Indira Gandhi, Rajiv Gandhi government applied some of the economic changes in the soils of India, and that led to the growth of 5.3%, hence breaking this glass ceiling of record of Hindu growth rate 3.5%. So these are all the changes done at that period of time. So अब हम पहुंच गए 1980, एंड अभी हमने बॉटलनेक्स पढ़े कुछ कि रिजर्वेशन ऑफ स्मॉल स्केल इंडस्ट्रीज पढ़ा हमने, लाइसेंस राज पढ़ा जो कि MRTP में आया था, लाइसेंस राज पढ़ा हमने। देन इम्पोर्ट सब्सटीट्यूशन की जो टेक्निक थी हमने वो पढ़ी है। सो ऑल दीज बॉटलनेक्स विल बी गेट negated in the LPG of 1991 and tomorrow's class. So in the next class we will be studying liberalization, privatization and globalization, this policy. And in import substitution one more thing has happened, that we have restricted the foreign trade. It means we deferred the potential advantage that we can get by the globalization, because these South Asian countries, East Asian countries, that are Taiwan, then Malaysia, Indonesia, these are opening at that period of time. When we were inward looking in our policies, these southeastern countries were engaged in the forward looking policy. It means openness of foreign trade, then devaluation of their currency, then investment in R&D. So all of these things attracted the investment away from India and to these Southeast nations. So import substitution, via the import substitution, as we are more inward looking, we deferred the investment, the potential investment that can come to Indian soils, but has been deferred by the import substitution policy of India. So this roadmap has been cleared in your minds, and now in the next section we will proceed and start from the policies of 1991. Again these bottlenecks will get rectified in the policy of 1991. So इसको को रिवाइज कर लेना एक बार, जितने भी bottlenecks मैंने बताए हैं. Till then, if your concepts are getting cleared, please like the video, share it with your friends and subscribe to our YouTube channel. तब तक के लिए goodbye, जय हिंद.